Ladies and gentlemen, we might be in bigger trouble than what we originally thought. The screws around Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC's neck has been tightening for a while now. We'll quickly do a bit of a recap on how exactly we got here because I think there's some confusion about where this would have started. And then I'm going to show you how it at least appears as if the ANC is now using the security apparatus of the state to attack and investigate members of parliament. Actual opposition parties are now in the crosshairs of a government with their backs against the wall. And we're going to go through all of that because usually when you reach that point in a democracy, it is a very quick dip to the bottom of the barrel and things completely coming undone. Before we get to that, though, if you like the content that I put out and you enjoy seeing rational, honest conversation that hopefully informs about everything that's going on, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and leaving a comment because of YouTube's new changes to their algorithm. This is what they care about: engaged viewership. I really appreciate you. So in my opinion and in my estimation, it all starts all the way back with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. You see, during this period, the South African government positions itself as a completely neutral player. Something that I at the time actually said is a good thing. I don't think South Africa should get too involved. Like, there's only really one right choice, and that is to back Ukraine because Russia is the one that started the invasion, right? Despite what people might say about history and what happened for the last decade or 2 decades, I get that there's a massive conversation to be had around that, but it doesn't matter. The better option for South Africa was to just always remain neutral and say, look, we don't want anything to do with that. The problem was that it was feigned neutrality because we continued to trade with Russia. We continued to house Russian President Vladimir Putin. We had ships, Russian ships, warships, harboring and docking right here in South Africa. The Simonstown debacle has still not been figured out, by the way. Then the Americans reached out to us for war games. We said, no, thanks. We have no interest in that. But then we did war games with Russia and China, which again was South Africa basically going to the Americans and saying, screw you, we don't care. We just want to pretend like we're completely neutral. Then we get to Israel and Hamas and that entire scenario in the Middle East. And here South Africa takes a very different approach. It says, screw America, screw American allies. We're going to side with Iran. Now, you can think what you want to think about the Gaza-Israel struggle, but anyone that sides with Iran is out of their minds. This is an incredibly evil regime that slaughters their own people. They have hounded and attacked Christians and Jews in their own lands to the point where there are almost none left, and those there are left there really have to be careful. This is a very bad country, right? No one should ever be allying with them, but South Africa did it anyways. We know that there are massive rumors about money changing hands, that the whole bringing the court case against Israel, that was on Iran's side. But all of this basically led to a massively strained relationship between Washington, D.C. and Pretoria. This enters Trump. You see, unlike the previous Biden administration, the Trump administration made no secret of their disdain for the African National Congress. And we saw the previous ambassador of South Africa be expelled and declared persona non grata in America. We have no ambassador currently sitting. This prompts the president to send a special envoy to America, led by Mr. Jonas, who we now found out 2 days ago was never allowed access. His credentials was denied from America. So this the president then yesterday comes out and says, well, my special envoy to America had no need to be in America, so it doesn't even matter because it's the trade, it's the Ministry of Trade and Industry that's actually leading the talks with America. This is all, of course, because of the tariffs, 40% tariffs that we're facing, and trying to figure out how do we get around these tariffs. The ANC, for their part, the president yesterday says the DA is lying about these reports and everything is well under control. Well, yesterday, Emma Powell is a sitting member of parliament for the DA, on BizNews revealed a very interesting uh, sort of factoid. According to the reports that she's heard from contacts within the State Department of America, the meeting between Park Stow and the trade and industry people of South Africa was incredibly short and effectively ended with the Americans telling South Africa, go kick rocks, come back to us when you're actually serious about doing business with America. So the president, yesterday, telling us that it's the trade and industry people and they have everything under control, turns out is complete nonsense. Add to this the incredible pressure that Ramaphosa should be facing at home with General Mkhwanazi coming out and effectively saying, hey, the Minister of Police is a criminal and he is on the dole for criminal organizations that kidnap children and sell drugs in very bad neighborhoods and executes their political opponents. We have a serious issue in this country, and the ANC appears to be at the heart of it all. Then yesterday, this happens where the president puts out not the president, sorry, excuse me, the South African Security Cluster chief puts out this incredibly strange report. Now, this is an update to the report. It doesn't really say much new. But incredibly strange report where effectively they're telling us there is or was a coup attempt, but that they have everything under control, but that there remains a risk of a coup attempt and that they have everything under control. And South Africans shouldn't worry. There is a coup attempt, but they have everything under control. I said at the time, covering this yesterday, this is weird. Like, what the hell are you doing here? This is a very strange report to be putting out. And yesterday, I alluded to the fact that I think this might be some preamble for the government to get rid of some of their political opponents. Because if you can tie political opponents to a supposed coup attempt, no one in the world will tell you that you aren't allowed to arrest those people and lock them up and get rid of them. Right? So keep that in mind. We're going to be talking about that in a second. The big problem that South Africa faces at the moment is that we are a country, and I believe the ANC knows this, with our backs against the wall. We have a debt to GDP ratio of 75%. We have a financial system where the government's financial sheets are made up by 40% income taxes, personal income tax. That's insane. No other country in the world would feel safe knowing that 40% of their total financial income is comprised of personal income taxes. You have a country where 90% of all of the corporate tax that's paid in the country is paid by 1,000 companies. This is incredibly worrying. South Africa is already spending 1.1 billion rand a day just servicing the debt, meaning we can't print more money. If we suddenly fall into incredible economic hardship, we're done. Right? As a country, we are done because there's no headroom left. We can't borrow more because it would devalue our currency way beyond what it is already devalued because the currency isn't trading at what it should be because of government mismanagement. So South Africa effectively is a country in deep, deep trouble. And this is where I think the entire story really kicks off. So yesterday, or I believe actually it was earlier today, let me just quickly make sure. Yeah, it was 6:10, literally this morning. So Emma Powell writes the following on X. I note with grave concern the Soweto newspaper story report links DA/MP to anti-SA narrative. On the 16th of July 2025, I was asked for comment on an unspecified report by Sowetan journalist Jeanette Shabalala, who noted that serious allegations has been made against me in regards to the DA's visit to the United States in February 2025. She then contacted the Sowetan editor, Sibonga Konki Shoba, not sure if I'm saying that name correctly, to ascertain the veracity of the report. He didn't want to show her the report because it is classified, but he did confirm that there is, in fact, such a report. This is a sitting member of parliament, and we now find out that a sitting member of parliament is being investigated seriously because, according to this journalist, this is an actual report that links her to an anti-SA narrative. Now, anti-SA can mean a lot of things, right? Anti-SA doesn't just have to mean terrorism, but it could also mean that. And this is where I think when we start to look at this, for example, it starts to make a little bit more sense. I think Cyril Ramaphosa is gearing up to get rid of his political enemies. And I think this is how he will do it. Anyone who speaks out against South Africa, anyone who says anything against him and his leadership will be replaced in due time. And I think this is exactly how Cyril will play it. Cyril Ramaphosa knows that they're done, right? The ANC is in deep trouble. Financial pressures, corruption charges, a country that is at the end of its rope. So, what do when all of this is playing out? You get rid of your competition. You basically threaten and accuse until hopefully the problem goes away. I think that's where we're moving. And I don't think it's going to get better. I think it's going to get worse because I think there are plenty of people within the ANC that would support President Cyril Ramaphosa becoming more extreme and actually getting rid of these uncomfortable voices on the opposite side of the aisle. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this entire situation. Did I miss something? Do you think that there's more to the story? I'd love to read your thoughts. As always, thank you so much to all of the patrons that help support this channel and help grow this channel. Hit the like if you liked it. If you didn't, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace.